Hey there, YouTube. We've got some more details on the ongoing USPSA situation. I know some of you find it annoying, but a lot of you find it very, very interesting. So, first up, some details on the Area 3 director being removed. The minutes are now out, and as I reported the other day, yes, the Area 3 director was removed from the organization. He's being blamed for leaking confidential information. Interestingly, very interestingly, if you take a look at the bylaws, it doesn't appear that the board actually had enough votes to do this. Now, why not? Well, the Area 1 seat is vacant, and because they don't have an Area 1 vote, like per the bylaws, they didn't have enough votes to remove a sitting director. Uh they need three-quarters of the board to vote, not three-quarters of the board that exists, if that makes sense. So that's been pointed out that, hey, they're not even following the bylaws, which, yeah, I mean, why would they? Um, but it sounds like, especially in Area 3, the match director type people are very, very upset. I think we're going to see a lot of clubs in Area 3 switching to like a hit factor match, just where they're not paying USPSA, or they'll switch to PCSL. Those conversations have already gotten started on social media. I heard there was a big meeting last night with the match directors in Area 3, like multi-state sort of discussion about what it is that they're going to do. Now, this shouldn't surprise anyone. This is the second Area 3 director in, I think, as many years that the board has just removed. Hey, we don't like this guy you voted in. This was Hopkins. They removed him. Then they installed one of their goons. People really didn't like it. The election came back around. The people voted in Scott, and the board has removed Scott. The problem the board has is Scott is a very well respected person in Area 3. As far as like, he's nice to everybody, he runs a lot of matches, he's been around forever. He actually, like, people actually respect him. So you can remove him from the board and say that he's like leaking confidential information. I mean, but people that know him are looking at this like, yeah, I think there's more to that. Like, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound like Scott's doing something horrible and doing something wrong. So that's one thing. Now, the larger issue here that I'm seeing is like the stuff happening with USPSA. It is accelerating. Like, it's picking up steam. Just a few weeks ago, was it even a few weeks ago? It was like 2 weeks ago. Area 1 director, boom, I resign. Now, boom, like they're kicking the Area 3 director. Like, these things, it's happening faster and faster. These sorts of things, because of all of the problems that the board has created for itself, and those problems still exist. Like, for example, the lawsuit against the board of USPSA, filed by Papa Joe, like, he was mad that he got kicked out. The USPSA board reinstated his membership and said, "Hey, this lawsuit's moot. We made him a member again. There's nothing to fight about here." I think that was the legal argument. They had some kind of hearing, and the judge said no, and that lawsuit's headed to discovery. So that's still a live issue. USPSA, like, they're having trouble getting enough range officers for some of the upcoming nationals, apparently, because there's a lot of people that, for one reason or another, don't want to RO USPSA nationals in certain areas. That's a problem. The managing director that the board hired, so like, they didn't want to have a president that people elected, so they created the managing director position and hired a managing director. Like, that was to stop the members from hiring from effectively hiring somebody to do stuff the board didn't like, right? Now that person, again, a couple years goes on, a little time goes by, and this unqualified person that the board hired to effectively have a shield for themselves, well, now she's talking about, like, hey, this is a hostile workplace or something, or like, she's making complaints about the workplace now. And that, again, so like, that's now a problem for them, because they can't just easily fire this person because they're afraid of getting sued again. Like, that is another problem that the board has created for themselves. Like, so, and it's not just these things. There's lots of issues like this that the board created for themselves, reacting to problems, not thinking ahead, and now they're still having a problem, and these things aren't going away. That's why we're seeing the issues with USPSA really, really start to accelerate. Like, last month, Wisconsin section effectively left USPSA. Now it looks like they're going to lose the balance of Area 3. Like that kind of stuff. Like it's happening faster and faster. Well, with things going like this, I think the problems in USPSA, I mean, they're going to keep accelerating until the guys get the ship righted. And I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think the board has a plan to fix anything. But at this point, probably what should happen. I was talking with a good friend of mine, Pro Shop Tim. A lot of you guys know him. He was on the board of a club. I think his USPSA club, and he was just like, look, the board was super dysfunctional. It was being run by this dude who's like a tyrant. And even though like I'm not a part of the problem per se, like what had to happen for the club is just the whole board resign and we just fire it up and start fresh. And that was what would have to happen, and that did happen, and that's how they rebuilt and saved uh, their USPSA club in that situation. And I think something like that, some kind of reset for the USPSA board, that's probably what should happen. Either forced through a lawsuit. I doubt they do it voluntarily, but like something like that is the fix, of course, where they just like, hey, we got to get these personalities out of here. We got to get people in here that want to solve these problems. And it's not even about, you know, whose fault it is or whatever. It's like this stuff just needs to be fixed. So I'm not hopeful that that's going to happen anytime soon. But as things continue to accelerate now, and I think into the spring, we'll see some more stuff happen. That should be what people are kind of hoping for, thinking should happen. I think it's a little bit sad to watch what's happening with USPSA, but it's a little bit funny too because for obvious reasons, we've been talking about this stuff for a while. Anyway, I'll keep watching, and updates will be coming.